After the completion of the 65th running of the world's longest Daytona 500 in history so far, we now welcome you to coverage of NASRA and the Millie's Restaurant and Catering Next Gen Cup Series. It is the first points race of the 2023 season. As I told you about 2 weeks ago when we had the clash at the Coliseum, mimicking the real deal is what the Millie's Cup Series Next Gen program is about for NASRA. Sunday night, we're ready to go for our Daytona race. Good evening. I'm Wesley Outlam. Adam Flieger is alongside as Brady LaBeouf is celebrating Mardi Gras in Louisiana. There's some of the logistics about the great Daytona International Speedway. Thanks also to Cody Knott joining us in the production side of things, as always. But I want to bring that back up again. 2.5 miles, track built back in 1959, the world's first ever big super speedway besides Indianapolis for stock cars. 2.5 miles, high banked, 31 degrees of banking, 18 degrees on the straightaway on the back stretch. And Adam, we're going to have some fun here at Daytona. This is going to be a good race, and it's the lid lifter for official points racing for the NASRA Millie's Next Gen Cup Series.
Most definitely. I'm excited to be here. Normally, I'm behind the camera here at NASRA on Mondays and Fridays, behind the wheel on Thursdays for part-time season. It is wonderful to be in the booth, I think, for a change. Give me a little bit different scenery here. But, Wes, I do have a question. Are we sure that today was the longest? Because I thought a few years ago, I remember a Daytona race finishing up, about 1:30 in the morning.
That was the longest time distance race. The longest race as far as in length was held this afternoon, which is 212 laps, almost 530 miles, 520 miles to be exact. So that is what we're talking about. This race tonight will be 250 miles, 100 laps. And we're going to go, of course, with stage 1 and 2 at lap 25 and 50. Race all the way to stage 3 in a 50-lap stage to battle it out for the checkered flag. Fixed setup series, 2 sets of tires, 100% fuel capacity, and there will be at least 2 attempts at a green-white checker overtime if necessary. So there's the tell of the tape, Adam. We're getting ready to get these guys in place in just a few moments to go racing at Daytona.
Yeah, it looks like we still got a little bit of time of qualifying left. Looking like we have Bill Hales on top of the grid currently.
Yeah, it looks like Bill Hales is right now the man that everybody is gunning for, if you will. As qualifying, as you said, is still ongoing. On track for the driver. Looks like he turned a 49.93. 49.93 best lap. 43 or 49.96. 49.97 2 times. Very close together in qualifying, as you can see.
Well, I think you'll see lap times very close together throughout the race as well, as this is a big drafting track. You lose that draft and you're pretty much done.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Adam. When these cars fight their way out front of the corner, you're going to see a lot of good, exciting racing. One thing, we only have close to 15 cars. Hopefully that'll pick up before this race begins. I want to let everybody know that this is the NASRA Next Gen Millie's Restaurant and Catering Cup Series is I want to say it's a free series. Basically, it's an open on iRacing, and I know that we ended up with like 22, 23 drivers the first race for the Coliseum event. Hopefully, we'll get some more names in here. This will build, obviously. Maybe you don't want to see Daytona tonight. Maybe you want to go to Auto Club next week, or you want to go to Phoenix or Vegas in a couple of weeks. It mimics the real NASCAR Cup Series 75th anniversary schedule. So as long as you kind of keep an eye on what the real NASCAR Cup Series schedule is every Sunday night, that is where we'll be. For instance, if it's Sunday night like tonight at Daytona today, then tonight we're here. Next week will be Auto Club next Sunday afternoon, and then of course we'll be there for the race tomorrow on next Sunday night. Whenever we have night races on the Saturday night, basically the night after On Sunday evening, it will be the same event as scheduled for if it's Bristol on a Saturday night or Martinsville, then basically that Sunday evening, we will be here on the NASRA 360 Racing Network with coverage of the Millie's Restaurant and Catering Next Gen Cup Series. We're glad you're joining us at NASRA Racing on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, we're about ready to let this clock run down, Adam Flieger. We're about to get these cars lined up. We're going to go racing for 250 miles, 100 laps around Daytona.
And it's going to be an exciting race, I'm sure. I have seen with other leagues, we've only had about 6 cars here at Daytona. And because of the draft, it produces some exciting racing.
The ButtKicker 250 is mere moments from getting started here. We're glad you're with us. Looks like they're going to go and run the clock all the way down to the end of the qualifying time, and it looks like it will be Bill Hells unofficially by 0.03 thousandths of a second. The man that set fast time. He will be on the pole, and we are ready to grid these cars. We're ready to go racing here tonight. NASRA at Daytona and the lid lifter. Let's give you the starting lineup. On the pole, Bill Hells in the 53 car. Look at your scrolling, or I'm sorry, the pylon on the bottom left of the monitor. You can see the entire ticker. Bill Hells on the pole. To the outside will be Nicholas Maynard in the 02. That's your front row. Row number 2. We'll find, of course, John Michael Bryant in the number 4, Buddy Saley in car number 21. Row number 3, here at Daytona, we'll find the drivers of Kyle Fountain in the 59, Anthony Moss Jr. in the 2. And we'll go half and half in row number 4. That will find Dana Shepard in the 45 and Adam Flieger, the number 3. Lucas Whitehead will start in the 8th position.
Starting in row 5, and the 9th position is going to be Doc Caldwell. To his outside, in that 10th position, going to be Ty Qualia. Qualia. Dang it, I'm terrible with speaking names sometimes. In row 6 is going to be Eric Thornton in 11th and Brandon Bullock in 12th. Rounding out your field there in row 7 is going to be Kyle Hess in the number 86, starting 13th, and 14th position is going to go to Raul Meza in the 37. Hopefully Raul Meza will have a little bit better luck here with the cup cars than he has lately in the truck. As we're getting set to roll off of pit road here to hit under the green flag.
Yeah, the field is set. Thank you very much. I just was getting myself a cold drink here to settle in for 250 miles, 100 laps of the ButtKicker 250 here tonight at Daytona. The field is rolling. Adam, you've been behind the if you will, production side of things. There's a different spectrum of it in the broadcast booth. But I have to say, though, my friend, what's the keys to the race to win here? I'm thinking patience to be there at the end of a 250 miles.
Patience, don't be too aggressive early on. I've seen so many guys try to win it going into turn 1, lap 1. It does not work that way here at Daytona at all, especially being 100 laps. The driver's going to have to really be patient and feel out the cars. I would expect a nice, I'd like to say stage 1 should go pretty easy. Guys, drivers should be feeling out the cars, making how the cars handle.
ready for the field to make their way to the starting line. It's Bill Hells and Nicholas Maynard coming through the tri-oval here at Daytona. The official point season underway for the Millie's Restaurant and Catering Next Gen Cup Series. The ButtKicker 250 is underway. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a virtual race.
Looks like Bill Hills gets a really good start there as he's there on the inside. That top line, though, is going to has to try to stay together to keep their momentum up on that high side to stay side by side coming down the backstretch now.
Down the super stretch here on the opening go. Working down into turn number 3. Everyone holding their line with Hells out in front. They hug below the white-yellow line into turn number 3. Hells and Maynard, Bryant, Saley, all in that bunch with Fountain in the top 5. They stay to the inside. They get ready to roar off of turn number 4 and put one lap on the board. 99 to go. Maynard will lead lap 1 at Daytona. They go to turn 1, Adam Fligger.
Coming down the front stretch here through the tri-oval, coming down to turn 1, 53 of Bill Hales fights back again on the bottom side as they're coming out of turn 2 down, getting ready to come down that super stretch as you called it for the back stretch. One thing though that with Daytona, that's different from a lot of other tracks is we have that double yellow line. Is that double yellow line roll in effect this evening here, Russ?
That line is in effect. I don't know. I think that they base it off of each sanctioned body series, and I think as far as for NASRA, you can go below the double yellow line. It's not like per se the NASCAR rules where you can't go below the yellow line. You'd be penalized. I would not say don't be surprised if you don't see some daring moves below the yellow line or driving on the yellow line like we just saw a moment ago, as they'll send it off into corner number 1 up the high banks of the 31 degrees of Daytona, with Fountain now the leader up on the top side. Hales is second. Bryant, Shepard, Maynard right there in that mix as they go to the back straightaway. That's the Menards car battling that 44 as they go into turn number 3.
That top side definitely getting a little squirrely there as it looks like Kyle Fountain drops down to the inside. No, I'm sorry, that's John Michael Bryant dropping to the inside there, getting a nice run to get to the lead. Coming off of turn 2 now? Is that turn 4?
Working off of turn number 4, coming back to the tri-oval, out of the corner, back to the start-finish line. 4 laps in now. Working lap 4, 3 laps in, correction, as Bill Hells is the man leading the way, but for how long? Here comes John Michael Bryant pulling down to the inside. I thought Nicholas Maynard was going to take that Menards car and bump out of line from the outside to the inside. He fishtails again, got really, really loose there, working off the back straightaway, Fligger. As they work into 3, it's still Hells in the lead.
That's one thing with these high speeds. If they get a wrong bump, that is definitely going to send cars a little squirrely coming off of the corner. So that is one thing the driver want to make sure of, is that they are pushing square. If they get off just a little bit, it could definitely upset the aerodynamics on the cars and send them around.
And somehow, some way, they hold it together, working back through the tri-oval, back to start finish. It is Hells, still the man leading. Maynard trying to pick off the pieces, if you will, from having a problem earlier in the race, and now he is settled in behind the leader of Hells. Hells now, though, chips from the top, goes now to the bottom. Bryant, Shepard, Maynard is now at Shepard's back door. They work to the back straightaway, 2 by 2 by 2. Nobody can break out of line yet as they work into 3. It's Hells now making something work on the bottom, as here comes Fountain, the battle back on the outside in 4.
As we're riding on board with Fountain here on the outside, coming through 3 and 4, coming to the tri-oval. Definitely doesn't look like he's turning that wheel a whole lot coming through the corner.
Yeah, keeping an eye on Fountain, on board with him. Kyle Fountain will now go back to the lead. Hells will now fall back. That's 2 lead changes in the race so far. 2 different leaders of the event, but look at Maynard now up to 3rd. Bryant fell back. He's in 4th. Anthony Moss, your top 5. That's the way they work the conga line out of turn number 2.
Out of turn 2, will Fountain drop to the bottom line there, as I've seen a lot of drivers do. There you go. He dropped as with his pushing partner there of Maynard. Or might have said that wrong. Not sure there, Wes.
Yeah, that's the Nicholas Maynard entry in the number 02, the Menards number 02. Working his way back across the start-finish line, working into turn number 1, climbing the 31 degrees of banking. We're underway with Kyle Fountain, the leader. Maynard in second, Hells the third, Michael Bryant fourth. And that's the way it is with Codwell in the top 5. They all hold it together now. The inside lane will work as Fountain will stay to the bottom. 3-4 cars on the inside. Then you've got them 2 by 2 by 2 behind the top 6 as they go all the way door to door behind them cars into turn number 3 and 4.
One thing I know I enjoy watching here at Daytona is whenever we can get a gyro shot of the car just to kind of show the viewers how much banking 31 degrees of banking is, because it is definitely a steep corner.
31 degrees of banking. They climb the banking one more time, working off of turn number 2, hitting the back straightaway here at the Virtual World Center of Racing. It is still Fountain staying hugged to the double yellow line to the bottom of the racetrack. Maynard now with the Menards color 02 has moved to second. Hells the pole car, falls back to third. They're single file now. The conveyor belt stays to the inside in 3.
Everybody single file now front to back as we come out of 4 down into the tri-oval. Completing 8 laps here in the Millie's Restaurant and Catering Cup Series. Starting lap 9 down into turn 1. Everybody still single file.
Still continuing to stay in that single file position. They work their way again off that corner, off the back straightaway. Fountain, the man out in front. Maynard stays inside, outside, doesn't know which way to go. Doesn't know whether to go to the top or the bottom. He just lets Fountain stay in that top spot as they climb the banking into turn number 3.
In turn 3, coming through turn 4, they're all still single file. Coming up on lap traffic, though, it looks like, as they're coming down through the tri-oval past the Geico restart zone. Nicholas might have been looking to the outside there as we're coming down the front chute, down into turn 1.
Back into the corner into 1 and 2. They get ready to hit the back straightaway. Look at Maynard now trying so hard to close in on Fountain. Fountain will still stay hugged to the bottom. We got lap cars on the outside lane. That's Raul Meza's car about to go a lap down. One car unable to start the race. Kyle Hess in the number 86 as they work under the banking into turn number 3. It is still Fountain, the man leading the way. Maynard, Hells, look at them all right there tight with each other as they work off of turn number 4, back through the Geico restart zone, roaring past start finish here at Virtual Daytona, and we have 10 in, 90 to go, and we are also closing in on 15 to go in stage 1.
15 to go as they cross the stripe, if I remember the laps correctly for our stage. Everybody's still single file. Looks like Raul Meza will drop in line at the back of the pack there. You can see kind of with everybody single file how quickly they caught up to the lap traffic of Raul Meza.
Yeah, definitely. And I tell you, we're in the early going of this race, and being your friend, as you mentioned, like we said, just kind of riding and driving right now. You're just kind of pacing yourself, getting yourself into a rhythm, not trying to do anything methodically to risk tearing up your race car, or for that matter, just basically just seeing what your other competition's going to do. I don't see anybody being aggressive. Just ride and drive. That's probably the best thing to do as we close in on under 90 laps to go here in the 500.
Well, I think you said it was that we looks like we got a couple dipping out in the back. They're trying to see if they can get something going at the back of the pack. But still up front, all single file. Clear back to about that 10th, 11th position. Down the front stretch, we're going to start lap 13 here into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, right now everybody is just very comfortable holding their position, working the back straightaway. It is Fountain still out in front, that number 59, since he climbed those 4 positions at the start, has put that 59 to the lead. Nicholas Maynard of the 02 Menards colors right behind him, hugged to the bottom of the racetrack as they work off the 31 degrees of banking into turn 4 back to the tri-oval. Hales will follow in third. Michael Bryant, Codwell, top 5. That's those cars as they go back off into turn number 1, and we close in on 12 to go in stage 1.
When is going to be the decision-making time for Maynard to dip out of line there to try to get that stage win, as that is, I believe here at NASRA, that constitutes in the playoff points, does it not?
Well, it doesn't count towards playoff points, but it counts towards stage points to go towards adding points to determine if you can make it to playoffs. And obviously, if you win a race, you advance into the playoffs. So, all the while, just kind of being patient. Working now. Cars jumping out of line. Fountain now getting Maynard and Hales right behind him. Single file. And now it is closing in on 10 to go. Next time by in stage number 1, it is Fountain hugged to the bottom of the racetrack as they climb in the bank and into turn 1 and 2. Adam Flieger off the corner.
Coming down the backstretch, everybody's single file. Fountain still up front. Maynard there in second. Hales third. Those are your top 3. Top 5 going to be John Bryant and Doc Caldwell to round out your top 5. Everybody's still single file going into turn 3. Maynard trying to get to that bumper of Kyle Fountain.
Whoa!
Down there below the yellow, I think he got a little loose coming off of the corner.
What a save there by Nicholas Maynard to slip, but somehow stay in the straight and narrow and still stay in the number 2 spot as he reels in Fountain. Fountain and Maynard. Hales, Michael Bryant right there with Codwell. There you see all the cars tighten up with one another. As we've got one jumping out of line. Some car has smacked the wall. I want to say it's Torrey Thompson in the 29. Torrey Thompson with a problem. There he is right there driving into the grass.
That almost looks like a malfunction of sorts.
Something amiss on the Torrey Thompson car. Into the wall, and we still stay green. I want to see if possibly Cody Knott can set us up with a replay of what happened to the car. Here is a look at what happened to the 29 of Torrey Thompson as we are still under green flag conditions. But here's a replay. Watch the car on the bottom right there inside of the red car, working off of turn number 2. And I don't know, Adam Flieger, if just Thompson lost that coming off in his Ford, working off the turn, or if he drifted up. Yeah, man, he just lost it.
Yeah, as I said, it almost looks like something went amiss there coming off of the corner. I don't know if that was a steering or what happened, but he keeps it off of every wall, mowing a little grass, but he keeps it off the walls to keep it going straight.
Yeah, if anything, just basically some agricultural damage, if you will, on the infield grass turf here at the Virtual World Center of Racing. That'll clear back up whenever the cars pass. And Torrey Thompson, though. Caution is out. Yellow out again. I wonder if Torrey Thompson might have crashed this time and actually on the racetrack. This is before the end of stage number 1, and we are under the yellow flag. So the caution is out. Kyle Fountain, the leader. They're going to back him down here as they work off of turn number 4. And Cody Knott will find our replay of what happened to why we're under the caution flag. And look at this. Oh, my. 48 and 9 tangle. That's Doc Codwell, Ty Quila.
Looks like the 48 got loose coming off of 4.
I don't know if we can see a replay of it again. I was thinking maybe they were coming to the pit lane, but no, that's not the case. Look at the 48 of Don Codwell. He was in the top 5. He jumps out of line here, climbs up into the middle lane, and then he starts to fit. See, look at this. You know what it looks like? It's shades of what actually happened with Maynard when a couple of laps ago when he saved his car, but then he wasn't able to. And then look at the 9, nowhere to go, a Tyquelia, and tagged in the left rear, and around go the cars spinning in unison.
I've been in the driver's seat. You think you're being way down there on the bottom like that. You think you got the accident cleared, and they still get you on that right rear.
And we are under the yellow flag. 5 laps to go, 6 remaining here in stage 1. The ButtKicker 250. We will step away. We're back from Daytona. NASRA 360 Racing Network in a moment with the Millie's Next Gen Cup Series season opener points race of 2023. Right now, Kyle Fountain is the man up in front. Welcome back to Daytona. Season opener race for the Millie's Restaurant and Catering Next Gen Cup Series. I'm Wesley Outlet. Adam Flieger alongside Cody Dodd is working on the production behind the scenes, and we stepped away for just a few moments to reset things here. And I'll tell you what, as we get ready for a restart, Kyle Fountain has been strong. Bill Hale's maybe the second strongest car, but don't count out that Menards, number 02. Nicholas Maynard. But I'll be honest, with 80 laps to go when they come to the line, 4 laps to go here in stage number 1, there's still a lot of racing to go here in this opening race, Adam.
There most definitely is. And with this being stage 1, 4 laps to go in stage 1, do you think there's going to be drivers trying to fight for that stage win?
I mean, I think we'll see some aggression here as they come back to the Geico restart zone and come back through the gearbox and pick up speed. If you're in the front, you're going to, obviously, if you're Maynard or Hales, you're going to try to fight to get the stage win. But I just think we're still too in the early going. It's the payout windows, that final lap in stage 3, and I think that's what everybody's trying to get to as we go back to green.
Coming out of turn 2 now, it is Fountain up front, Hales in second, Whitehead now in third. There's a name we haven't seen yet up in the top 5.
Back underway into the ButtKicker, 250 to the back straightaway. Look at Fountain staying down to the inside. Top 3 cars to the bottom. Here comes now Daly, Moses up top. Somebody trying to make something start on the inside lane. On the bottom, now the top starts to get back unorganized, and now finally they start to somehow scatter about and get back 2 by 2 behind the top 4. And just like that, you talk about somebody falling back. Adam Maynard, second on the restart. He's now back to 10th.
I've been watching Maynard there fall back. He's actually in 8th. But one driver I noticed is the 29 of Torrey Thompson. He had that problem there on that backstretch coming out of 2, and now he's up to 4th.
Yeah, he's came out of nowhere, that 29 car up 12 spots, if you will. And he has worked his way to the 4th position as they are coming to the line here. 3-0 trouble, tangled, peeking at Thompson. He got burned. Number 4 goes around. John Michael Bryant spun. More cars. Buddy Saley involved. Going down into the infield grass out of turn number 4 into the tri-oval. And we're under caution here. Not even at the end of stage 1.
I think that will be the stage, though, as that happened on lap 24. Did the 9 just get a bad push coming off of the corner?
Let's look on the replay here. The 9, that's the second time he had problems earlier in the race. Ty Quillia, and Quillia might have got a bad, well, he went from the outside, tried to, boy, it looked like he tried to close in and fight for a spot that Maynard had in front of the 4, John Michael Bryant. And in doing so, inadvertently tagged the 9 car, the 4 did.
No, the 4 was down on the bottom side, and
Yeah,
the 9 got loose on the top side.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
The 21, I think, got him a bad push, or it just kind of got a little weird coming off of the corner. The 9 got sideways, and then between the 9 and the 4, it almost looks like Netco, because it looked like the 9 saved it.
Let's watch this in real time, and maybe we can watch it in speed mode beside in slow motion, and maybe that will help us out when we come back to our next replay. This is in real time. The 9 tags the 4. Everyone else checking up. The 21 slamming into the infield grass by Buddy Saley to avoid the other car of Dana Shepard. And I don't know, when it's in fast mode, I don't know if it's netcode or not, like you said, Adam. I maybe, but it regardless, it looked like the 9 was coming down from the outside lane to the inside. He tagged the 4.
Most definitely the 9 came down. I think it was inadvertently he came down. I think he just kind of got the bad push, and it sent the car sideways coming off the corner. Either he got bad push or he got loose coming off. One of the two.
I'm believing they are saying that this will be the end of stage number 1 when they come back to the start-finish line. And in doing so, it will be Kyle Fountain in his Ford to take stage number 1. So Kyle Fountain is going to be the stage 1 winner in the Kyle Fountain Enterprises number 59.
Well, I know second and third place don't mean much, but they're definitely names that come out of nowhere. Lucas Whitehead for second and Torrey Thompson for third.
And while we're trying to grab our driver, Kyle Fountain, I don't see him right now per se in the box. We would like to try to talk with him, the Kyle Fountain Enterprise.
Radio frequency, can we?
Yeah, we can't grab him here, so he's offline, but or at least not available for our opportunity to talk to him. That'll let us step away. Of course, actually, I think we're going to set ourselves up for green flag pit stop or around the pit stops here after our second caution flag is what I was going to say. And we'll wait to see how all this transpires. As right now the field catching the pace car. Kyle Fountain is going to be the winner of stage number 1. We'll reset. Get ready to go for stage 2. The ButtKicker 250 returns in a moment on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. Welcome back to Daytona. And the ButtKicker 250 rolls along. I'm Wesley Outlet. Adam Flieger is alongside, filling in for Party Gras. Brady LaBeouf. Of course, he's celebrating Mardi Gras. And I think he had a birthday. Was it yesterday?
That's what I hear.
Somehow he snuck away. Somebody had a birthday. I understand it was Brady. So he rock on, party hard. And now I understand why he's not in the booth with me tonight. So anyhow, Kyle Fountain is the man that is leading the way.
It was his wife's birthday.
It was his wife's birthday. Gotcha. Okay. Well, happy birthday, Mrs. LaBeouf. Whitehead is going to be in the number 2 spot. Fountain is still right there. And I'll be honest with you, when we came back from a commercial break, Adam, unless you got damage, I didn't see anybody come down to the pit lane at all.
I didn't see really anybody wanting to take tires yet. Being a super speedway, I am surprised at that. I don't know how many sets they have here this evening. But I'm seeing that 02 Menards machine back up there in the top 4 again.
3 sets, by the way, 3 sets plus the set of tires that they had on the car originally as the field comes to the line. Green flag back in the air here at Daytona. Ready to do this here again with Fountain ready to bring them back to speed. Whitehead in second. There's that number 3, if you will. Lucas Whitehead for the first time showing his strengths up here on the podium, along with Torrey Thompson. Remember Torrey Thompson? Right about there in stage 1. Bonsai'd onto the super stretch apron, came back on track, had some recreation, agricultural grass driving through. And now the 29 has powered his way up 13 spots to position number 3 as they work off turn 4. And we officially get the green flag here underway at full speed in stage 2.
And if I was catching notes correctly, that's about 60 laps worth of fuel. So that'll probably be whenever you see the tire changes in the pit stop will be at end of stage 2. To get everybody set to finish out this race would be my prediction. So at that lap 50 mark for end of stage 2, I think that's everybody pit.
I'm thinking more or less, unless we get another plethora of cautions here in this stage. When stage number 2 concludes, you're looking at what, 50 laps in? So I'm thinking probably you're going to determine if you want to make the pit stop or not. more than likely, I think everybody will come in. Working off turn 4 through the tri-oval. Fountain is the man leading the way as they climb the 31 degrees of banking from a very unique camera angle. From the drone down on the track to the view of the leaders as they go off into turn number 1 and 2.
And I don't think Whitehead is giving Fountain much room there on that back bumper. I don't know how much daylight's between the two cars as Whitehead is up against that bumper.
Yeah, he's giving him a little bit of room. Maybe about a quarter of a car length distant as they work into the corner. It says on time that it's scoring .09 is right now. Whitehead is there. One wrong slip by the 59 of Fountain, and he will capitalize. But again, we still have all cars sideways. Hold on there, John Michael Bryant. What a save in the tri-oval for the number 4.
Saw that happening there at the back corner of the screen. Was not sure if the drivers were going to be able to save that or not. Great job by the drivers behind the wheels to keep them all straight and going here under green. And we're coming up on lap traffic again.
Back straight away.
21.
Yeah, that's the driver of Buddy Saley, as you just mentioned, the lap car up on the outside. He gets moved out of the way to the bottom of the racetrack. It's Kyle Fountain, the leader. What a save for John Michael Bryant. And now, believe it or not, he is in the top 5 right there again, battling with these cars as they come across the line.
There's what I'm talking about, the 3. Really no room between him and Fountain as they come through the tri-oval. Backs off, coming through the turns 1 and 2 and down the backstretch. And then as they come through the tri-oval again, he gets right up on that bumper and gives him a nice shove coming down that front straightaway.
Got to get him a little opportunity here. Thompson, where does he go? He's got Maynard behind him in the Menard's car. To the inside, Whitehead making the move on Fountain. That's Ford and Chevrolet battling for the top spot as they work off the corner out of turn 4. Meanwhile, Thompson, Maynard, and Bryant start to climb the outside lane as they work through the tri-oval. Put another lap on the board here in the ButtKicker 250. They're back to 1.
And front 2 cars definitely hooked up tight as tight can be, coming through that tri-oval down into turn 1 and 2. Onto the back stretch they come.
On board with Whitehead. This is on board with Lucas Whitehead, the driver at a Roan Mountain in the Do It For Dale Motorsports number 3 Lucas Whitehead Chevrolet. Holding his line, working off into the corner, back into the turn number 3 and 4. And that is the Ford of Fountain right in front of him. They stay to the inside, working back to the double yellow line under the start-finish line. And here you go, 33 in of 100. Very exciting race so far here in the ButtKicker 250. Couple of cautions, the stage caution, and we're all the way right now, 10 laps into stage number 2 now, Adam.
Yes, 10 laps in, down the backstretch of coming. Somebody got a great run off a corner 2. Not sure who that is. That will be the O2 Maynard there coming down the backstretch. He is now up to 4th. As the 3 is still, Whitehead is still working on that back bumper of Fountain. Not sure if Fountain's going to have much of a bumper left at the end of this one. Coming through that tri-oval.
Millie's Restaurant and Catering, proud to be the title sponsor of the NASRA Next Gen Cup Series. They had a phenomenal business week in Daytona. There's also one up north. If you ever get the chance to go to Millie's Restaurant and Catering, we invite you to. And of course, when you do, tell them that you heard about it on the NASRA 360 Racing Network coverage of the Millie's Next Gen Cup Series 4. NASRA Racing. Follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at NASRA-Racing. And, of course, online as well. I'm Wesley Outlet Adam Fligger alongside Cody Knott is handling our production. We are working lap number 35 of 100 here in the ButtKicker 250 first points race of the season as Fountain, Whitehead, Thompson, Maynard, and Bryant, your top 5, Adam, will climb the 31 degrees into turn number 1 at Daytona.
Everybody still single file as they work through turns 1 and 2, through turn 2, onto the backstretch here. At Whitehead still trying to figure out which lane to go with, figure out how to get that stage win here, but it's still pretty early. We're only 10 laps into stage 2, and stage 2 will be over at lap 50. I think once the 10th place car is it that crosses the stripe?
That is correct. Once we complete lap number 51, it has to be 50 completed green flag laps. When we complete lap 51 and the top 10 cars cross the scoring loop, then the yellow flag will be called and it'll be illuminated around the racetrack here at Daytona. As right now, Kyle Fountain, the man that leads the way, Lucas Whitehead in second. Up 13 spots, Torrey Thompson. Maynard and Bryant, your top 5. And there you see the top 5, single file down the super stretch. Don't count out also Dana Shepard and Bill Hells, the pole car, staying single file off turn 4.
Honestly, here at Daytona, I wouldn't count anybody out of this race yet. If you're on the lead lap, you still have a chance to win this, as there is still over half of the race to go here for the Millie's Restaurant and Catering Cup Series. I've come to know that anything can happen at these super speedways.
Yeah, hands down. And I'll tell you what, we've only had about 2 cautions for accidents on track. We've had, of course, another one jumping out of line. Yeah, that's the number 44 there. I want to say that's Dana Shepard out of Putney, Vermont. He is in car 45 on time and scoring. It is the 44 car on the track. And that car jumping out of line. And here's the deal. You see that little slip he made? As fast as that happened, Adam, you're gone. Look at the draft. Look at the pull away he has now on everybody.
Oh, yeah, he definitely has some ground to try to make up, but he might not be able to get any ground made up. His best thing he can do is just keep his foot in it and hope for a caution, or hope to stay on the lead lap, and that stage caution comes out for him to get caught back up. As with this draft, you see them all single file. They're just going to pull away from him.
Look him off into turn number 3. It's Fountain. Somehow, some way, holding it together down into the turn. All the while, Whitehead second, Thompson third. Got to say this, though. That car of Shepard, plenty of time, though he got knocked out of line, to still run those guys down and get back into position.
There is definitely, he definitely has time on his side. It's not like there's 20 laps to go. He's got 60 laps to go. Get caught back up and try to make a run back at the front. But up front, it is Whitehead. And in front of Whitehead is your leader of Kyle Fountain. And then we have the 29 of Torrey Thompson. As we mentioned before, he had that slight problem similar to what you see there in stage 2. It looks like we might have green flag pit stop.
I was wondering, somebody said the window was between 60 laps, but here's the deal. There's also been laps that have been ran under caution, and they might have used up a lot more fuel consumption and might have made them think, we don't want to fight this here. So, with that being said, on lap number 40, by the way, that's 100 miles into this 250-mile event. Just want to let you know about that. Lap 60 will be 125 miles. We are 40 laps in right now, 100 miles down, 150 miles to go here in the ButtKicker 250. But that's also not counting, Adam Flieger, if we go to overtime, which could be 2 attempts at a green-white checker as well here at Daytona.
That is true, but I'm also in the back of my mind thinking we got 9 laps before the stage break.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Under 10 laps to go here in stage number 2. And this race flying by fairly quickly for the most part. Is right now Bill Hells is back to the lead with the cycle of green flag pit stops ongoing. as we just saw Kyle Fountain, Lucas Whitehead, and some others give up the top spot. And there's the man now, the 53 out in front, Anthony Moss Jr. in second position. Got Raul Meza, Buddy Saley, Nicholas Maynard, some of these cars a lap down. That's all because they haven't come to the pit lane yet and the pit stops haven't cycled. Macon, Missouri, 17, Brandon Bullock. His car now up to third. And while all this goes on, timing and scoring just updated here. And it is showing now Bill Hell's back in the lead. The pole car, Moss, Bullock, top three. You have got now 8 cars on the lead lap with Raul Meza, the first car lap down.
And Raul Meza is a lap down there in that bunch, but holding on to that draft very nicely through that front pack as Bill Hells takes him down into turn 3. Anthony Moss there in second. Brandon Bullock third. Brandon Bullock, it's almost interesting to see him up at the front since he was at the back most of the race so far tonight. Like I've said before, I never count anybody out. It can be anybody's race. Question is, will these drivers have enough to make it to the stage break?
Yeah, going to be exciting and fun to watch here. I think that they are. I mean, I believe that they were just maybe working on the undercut. That's why some of these cars came to the pit before these other cars did. But with that being said, I will point blank tell you that because they pitted before the end of stage 2, I don't see them pitting at the end of stage 2 when the caution's drawn. Now, these other cars, trouble. Cars couple of turn down the back straightaway. Maynard's one of them. Nicholas Maynard. Nicholas Maynard just got turned. The 29 of Torrey Thompson's also involved. Couple of Fords ending up wrecked out of turn 4. Caution is out for the 4th time here at Daytona tonight.
This could definitely shake the field up as Thompson got loose coming out of 4, comes across the nose of, I can't. Maynard.
Look at it on replay here. Let's watch it on replay here. Obviously, you can see where Torrey Thompson, his car tangled in to the 0-2. Let's watch Nicholas Maynard's car. That's the Menards blue and yellow car. He tagged the left rear of the Thompson car, and around both of those cars went. I was thinking maybe they were checking up to come to the pit lane. That's not the case, Adam Fleeger. He got into it big time coming off the corner.
I do believe Thompson possibly got loose there on the top side, which brought him down the track and into the side of the 0-2, as I did not see the 0-2 change his line from that double yellow there on the bottom of the racetrack. See, it almost looks like Thompson got tight, and it just broke loose there coming off, bringing him back down the track.
Look at this one more time. There you go. And shades of what happened in stage 1 with another late race caution before the end here of stage number 2. We're back in a moment. We'll get ready for the restart. NASRA Next Gen Cup Series cars presented by Millie's Restaurant and Catering. We're back here from Daytona next. Well, we've got about 4 laps to go here in stage number 2 for the Millie's Restaurant and Catering Next Gen Cup Series. The NASRA 360 Racing Network, the official first points race of the season. Bill Hales, the pole car, back up in front as it looks like the lights are going to go off on the pace car here. Adam Flieger will get them 2 by 2 by 2, and we will get ready for at least a 3-lap shootout to end stage number 2 at Daytona.
That looks to be what we're going to have is almost green-white, and then the green-white checker for the stage. If I'm thinking my laps correctly, but I'm not positive on that.
It'll be a green 2 white checker. Unless we get another yellow flag right now here. 48 of 100 laps. Actually working lap 48. 47 are completed. Let's give you a restart lineup here. Bill Hales is the man out in front. There's the black and gold, number 53. Anthony Moss Jr. from Spartanburg right there alongside of the 2 car. Row number 2, Missouri's Brandon Bullock in the Chevrolet. Another great save earlier for Putney, Vermont's Dennis Shepard, and Shepard is now in 4th. Lucas Whitehead was strong earlier in the race. The number 3 Chevrolet back into the top 5. Kyle Fountain, who led earlier in the race, the 59, falls back to 6th. Ty Quillia in his Chevrolet will is in the position 7 right now. Raul Meza somehow back on the lead lap in 8th. Buddy Saley 9th. John Michael Bryan in 10th. Torrey Thompson, Nicholas Maynard. That's the cars that are on the lead lap as we come back to the green flag here at Daytona. We are getting ready for Bill Hales to bring them down to the line. Green flag in the air. We are 2 laps to go in stage number 2. As the cars will have about a lap to get up to speed as they'll hit the back straightaway. And here comes now Anthony Moss Jr. licking his chops to try to go to the lead as they go to the high banks into turn 1 and 2.
That top side definitely looking strong as they're coming out of turn 2. Like we said before, I don't count anybody out, as we saw that 44 car had problems earlier and is now up there in that 3rd position.
Up there in that 3rd spot, working down into the corner. Right now, Moss Jr. now falling back to the outside. He'll fall back to 2nd or 3rd as here comes Bullock, powering his way to the bridesmaid spot for P2. And right now in P1, Bill Hales is there 3 wide behind him, coming to the line. White flag in stage number 1. 1 more lap to go. Final lap in stage 2. It is Bill Hales working up the banking. Bullock out of nowhere to 2nd. Whitehead will follow. They go into 2 for the final time.
Whitehead there in 3rd. He's looked strong all night. Looking to the outside with the number 9 of Ty. How do you say that? Quillia?
Ty Quillia right there in that number 9 car. He powers back to the bottom. They are now 2 by 2 by 2. Lucas Whitehead, the number 3, powering up on the outside. He battles back as they work to the corner. Coming to the tri-oval. Whitehead now works the outside. Has the bump from Quillia. Pulls away from Hales. And it will be.
The yellow flag is
I
out.
believe that Ty got 2nd on that.
It will. It is
the stage 2 winner.
It is going to be. It is going to be the driver of Lucas Whitehead in stage 2 to get it done. Wow. Talk about making a phenomenal move when it counted the most. When he needed to do so, he got it done. And this was a phenomenal race to end stage number 2 there, Adam Flieger.
It most certainly was. And seeing that as the end of stage 2, what does stage 3 have in store for us?
Boy, Well, I'll tell you exactly what stage 3 means. Stage 3 means that we're going to have one heck of a finish with 49 laps to go. We'll reset them probably with about 46, 45 remaining for the finish of this race. As you see now, 51 laps completed. The top 10 will all get stage points, just like NASCAR does, like Daytona in the 500 this afternoon, won by Ricky Stenhouse Jr. The same will happen here in the stages for the next gen Cup Series NASCAR cars. Whitehead, Hales, Quillia, Moss Jr., Bullock, Fountain, Shepard, Meza, Saley, and Michael Bryant will all receive stage points. Buddy Saley was the first car a lap down. He should get the free pass and move back to the lead lap. And I will say this as well. For some cars that had problems earlier and might have pitted, I'm thinking that if some of the leaders come to the pit lane, which I predict they probably will, maybe,
Here they come.
then you're going to see, unless they pit, Bryant, Thompson, Maynard trying to go for the wave around and then go for the opportunity to get back on the lead lap here at the 1 to go for stage number 3. And as I say that, my friend, I called my shot. There go those cars taking the wave around, and they are back on the lead lap as well.
Will the 4 and 20?
They
will get their lap back.
No. They have to wait. They have to wait for the 1 to go. They have to wait for the 1 to go. They are in the intent of taking the wave around, but they have to wait till they get to the flag stand for the 1 to go indication. Then they're able to pull out of line behind the pace car and pass them and go back to the lead lap. But to do so, they then have to be in max speed before the green flag drops. So that's what you're seeing take place. There's Kyle Fountain. There's Ty Quillia now. Going to be the new leader. See if we can try to grab Lucas Whitehead, if he is possibly available, as one of our drivers, and get their thoughts here at the end of
an exciting stage 2.
Stage 2 did not disappoint. You're exactly right. And unfortunately, no communication available for either stage winners so far for Kyle Fountain or Lucas Whitehead. Well,
hopefully, as this season progresses, we get more and more drivers here. Hopefully, we get these radio frequencies for these drivers so we can talk to them about their stage win.
I'm going to try to find somebody to talk to somehow, some way. Let's bring in. Hang on a minute. Let me make sure we got the right guy here. I want to make sure it's bringing in the right person here. I think we are. Yeah. Let's. Do I have rights to do it? There we go. Maybe not. I guess I don't have the authority to do it.
Well, I know I don't have authority to do anything.
I'm trying to bring the guy in the broadcast booth, but it ain't working.
Oh.
Cody, can we drag Ty Quillia into the box real quick and get a word with him, or are we? I'm banned, I guess. I don't know. I can't. I just call the races, people. That's all I do. I wanted to try to grab a word with Ty. If there's any way we can bring him up here.
Unfortunately, our producer does not have the ability to get us the radio communications either.
The only man that can do that is Brady LaBeouf, and he is enjoying Mardi Gras with the missus. Happy birthday yesterday, and of course, enjoyed Mardi Gras today. Avoid the people that have the beads, okay? They expect you to do things. Oh, we'll get ready for a restart. Anyhow, wanted to try to grab a word with Ty Quillia, but as you can see, he is the man out in front. Lucas Whitehead alongside, as they have just done the 1 to go indication. Looking at about 46 laps to go when they come back to the Geico restart zone and get this race back restarted. By the way, you see now those drivers that took advantage, the 0-2 of Nicholas Maynard and John Michael Bryant of the wave around, Buddy Sales was the car that had a 1 lap down. He's back on the lead lap, and we are back underway. By the way, real quickly, look at how fast the 29 and the 4 were able to, or the 02 and the 4 were able to get back to the leaders. Look at them right there behind them.
Oh yeah, they're with the pack back of that. Lucas Whitehead though dropped back to third as the 2 and the 9 got a great restart. Green not wanting to be outdone and jumping back to that outside, followed by that 59 of Kyle Fountain, your earlier race leader.
Remember, you can follow Millie's Restaurant and Catering on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And, of course, as I said, tell them that you checked out the information, the excitement of Nazra, and that's why you came to their restaurant.
And
to
the
Millie's.
Whitehead is back out front again, dragging with him the 59 of Kyle Fountain, coming along the outside there, coming into turn 1.
Working off that corner out of turn number 2. Here at the virtual iRacing Daytona International Speedway. This is the ButtKicker 250. And right now,
getting a great run going into turn 3. There comes the 2 of Anthony Moss to help push that 9 to the front, hoping he can get a run at the leader.
and we'll watch him here working back around to the triangle, coming out of turn 4. Back to the stripe, to the inside. Ty Quillia on the bottom. Moss will follow. Fountain is there. 1, 2, and 3 as they go off into the bank and into turn number 1 and 2. Whitehead is there as well with Saley. There's your top 5. They are single file. And let's be honest here, as they climb the bank in off the back straightaway, anybody can win this race now, and it is now winner take all here in stage number 3. This is the stage to determine the race to the payout window of who's going to take the money in this Daytona ButtKicker 250.
It definitely can be anybody's win. As you saw how quickly somebody can go from the lead, and they are back in the pack again, as the number 3 was up on point and now has gotten shuffled back to 4th position. And now looking to the outside to try to be the leader of that outside lane as it moves forward again. And there's a crash down coming down the backstretch.
Got trouble, and a couple of cars have scattered behind the pack. It looks like Thompson's one of them, as well as Eric Thornton. They continue to pull away. Dana Shepard involved, as well as John Michael Bryant. No caution, though. We stay green. The leaders are to the back straightaway going to turn number 3.
Definitely saw lots of smoke, but not sure exactly what happened there. As like you said, we are still green. Leaders bringing them to the stripe. That will be Ty Quillia in that number 9, followed by Anthony Moss Jr. 59 of Kyle Fountain. They're in your 3rd position. Lucas Whitehead 4th and in 5th. Rounding out your top 5 is the 17 of Brandon Bullock. All single file.
Ty Quillia right there in the lead, down to the inside. Anthony Moss Jr. will follow. Stay single file. 5, 6, 7 cars inside, right there at the double yellow line into the corner. Well, here's a throwback, my friend. Let's see if you remember some history, Adam Flieger. The car number 9 that Ty Quillia is driving in the lead. What throwback car is that?
Well, the only thing I can come back to, I'll be honest, I'm not sure who that throws back to.
That was the car, the wrap job, that Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Dale Earnhardt Sr. drove together in Suzuka, Japan, in the NASCAR preseason Thunder, the big race in Suzuka. Back, I believe it was 96 and 97.
Well, that'd be probably why I wouldn't know that. I was only 4 and 5 years old at that time. So,
Yep.
yeah, I'm a young guy. I know the drivers, but might not always know when paint schemes were run. I know you were talking the other night with one of the other announcers here in the Nazra booth about
the 3 cars, all the wrap jobs.
And One of my favorite, or two of my favorites, I think, was the Coca-Cola, the red Coca-Cola one that Earnhardt drove, and the number 3 Wrangler car, which I believe was it his father that also, Ralph Earnhardt also drove a Wrangler?
No. The Wrangler car came from him driving that car back in the 80s. The Wrangler colors, and that was a throwback with Richard Childress Racing in the 1999 Winston when he drove that car. Yeah.
Because I thought I saw a image somewhere of a number 8, which was Ralph's number.
Ralph Earnhardt drove a pink car, my friend. I don't know if you ever knew that.
Okay, yeah, I know he drove the pink one, but I thought who in the world drove the 8 before Junior? I know I've seen pictures. I can't remember.
I mean, Ralph Sr. drove the number 8 car. There's been throwbacks of the Wrangler car with Dale Jr. driving it.
Okay.
But Dale Sr. was the original driver of the Wrangler jeans, blue and yellow.
Okay.
One tough customer, number 3. That was the signage, if you will, of what it was. Right now, Lucas Whitehead, one tough customer virtually for the NASRA Series. That number 3 car. Doing it for Dale in the lead. And look at Raul Meza now. Raul Meza is second spot. Where did he come from there going into turn 1, Adam?
He has been working his way up through that field. He had that problem earlier, but as you see, like we've been saying all night so far, it's anybody's race. Even though you might have a little trouble early on in this thing, don't count yourself out. There's still a chance that you could be up front fighting for the lead, as we see Raul Meza there in second place doing just that.
Yeah, what a strong run there for the driver, Raul Meza, in that number 37 Serve Pro entry. He is the driver up in the top spot now as they work their way to the back straightaway. Now back to the tribal, back to start finish. Whitehead, Meza, Fountain, Bullock, your pole car, Bill Hales on the restart, back 4 spots in the 5th position. The Warrior Racing Esports Chevrolet, Raul Meza, is the man leading the way in that 37. When do you make your move? It's still a long way to go with 37 to go to the back straightaway.
It's definitely going to be when do you make that move, jump to the outside, and see who your friends are, as they are 2 by 2 behind the front 2 leaders.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest right now, Adam. I would say just ride and drive right now. If you start jumping out of line, if you start getting antsy, you might find yourself wrecked. I honestly think get to around 10, 5 laps to go. Then you can start, you got about 20 miles left to go here. We just passed halfway in this race, by the way. Lap 50, halfway, 125 miles in, okay? Now you're closing in on the next 100 miles to be completed around lap number 80, so that'll be 200 miles in, and then you got 20 laps to battle it out. Now what I would do is get myself to probably lap 85, lap 90. If it was me on track and not in the booth, Adam Flieger, and then with 10 to go, I would give it everything I got to win this race.
You also got to make sure that you have friends out there that are willing to go with you, and Raul Meza has just that with his teammate, the 17 of Brandon Bullock, right behind him.
Yeah, so that shows you right there, Raul Meza, Brandon Bullock right there as teammates with one another. And bottom line, obviously, and we saw it in the 500 earlier this evening with Kyle Busch and Austin Dillon. What do you do whenever your teammate abandons you? Or what do you do whenever your teammate decides to go another way, goes from the outside or the bottom, pulls out and makes another change? What do you do if he gets taken out? What if Bullock gets wrecked? What if Meza gets wrecked and you're ended up by yourself? We'll see these stories unfold virtually as they come to the line. Closing in on now 36 laps to go.
One thing is, though, is if Meza bounces to the outside, I'm almost wondering if Bullock would follow him.
My opinion, my apologies, 34 laps to go with Whitehead still the man leading the way. Down the super stretch to the back straightaway they go. Into that third turn. Doing it for Dale in the number 3. Historic week for this year. Obviously, it was 25 years ago on February the 15th that Dale Earnhardt won the Daytona 500, the 40th edition after 20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration, finally winning the Great American Race in 1998. Also yesterday was the 22nd year that we lost the Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt, on the final lap of the Daytona 500 in 2001. Gone but not forgotten. Doing it for Dale. The Roan Mountain driver, Chevrolet number 3, currently up in front. How special would it be for the NASRA Series lid lifter Adam Flieger if the 3 could pull it off and go to victory lane here?
Oh, that'd be an awesome sight. I'm sure there are viewers that would really like to see that 3 in victory lane. I wouldn't count out that 37 of Raul Meza and the 17 of Brandon Bullock either. They're definitely strong competitors. They're in that top 5. Anybody's race. As we're heading down into turn 1. Everybody's still single file as we're coming to the backside.
Yeah, they're working that inside lane of the back straightaway. Lucas Whitehead stays to the bottom. Meza is right there behind him. Couple of Chevrolets, 1 and 2. Top 3 Chevrolets. Then you got a Ford in Hales. Here comes Hales now, starting to climb. In the 4th spot, Ty Quillia right there with him. 5, 6, 7, 8 cars all in a tandem right there coming to the line. This is Whitehead to Saley as they'll send it off into turn number 1 and 2. 30 laps to go. Next time by here at the Virtual World Center of Racing, and to the home stretch to the payout window we go.
Everybody's still single file with the exception of them with that last row being side by side. Sometimes you can get a good side drafts going here at Daytona, but you gotta have help from behind to make that work. Very difficult to be a lone wolf per se out on that outside line.
Yeah, you don't want to be that. You do not want to be the lone wolf. Live alone, die alone. And to be that man, if you are the lone wolf, you better be able to be the leader of the pack and hold your own. And right now, it looks like Lucas Whitehead is doing that. Here comes a car climbing up on the outside lane, trying to make something happen. That car, several laps down, my apologies, is one of the cars earlier in the race that is out of it. The best thing to do.
Banking is not a lap down car. That is the 21 of Buddy Saley.
My apologies. Saley is jumping out of line. My apologies there. That's actually the car that decided to go from the inside, and he decided to climb the outside lane. But let's be honest here, Adam. He's by himself because nobody's going to go with him. And if he don't tuck back in line, he will fall to the back.
Well, he's been trying to fight that top side, and he just cannot get any help. And he looks like he's at least gained 1 spot there on the outside. But that bottom side, once again, is pulling back to his inside.
Yeah, just as fast as he made it work. That side draft is just not as best as the front draft on them cars. And you see the end result is Saley. Those 8 cars, as I mentioned, single file, is now single file again because Saley had no other choice. But here comes now Bill Hales, the 53. He'll jump out of line. They come unorganized. They're trying to get something started now on the top shelf as they come to the line in 28 to go.
28 to go, and definitely looking like we're going to try to get some 2-lane racing going here as Raul Meza is still at the back bumper. The 17 of Bullock did not jump to the outside. He's going to stick with his teammate there on the inside as we are now 2x2 coming down into the tri-oval. On board with Hales coming into turn 1. He is your current leader there. Looks to be on the bottom side. You can see that gyro cam, just how much banking there is here at Daytona.
Down the back stretch, another car just flew by. That's Torrey Thompson, what might have been for the 29. At one time, he was a strong contender. Nonetheless, they climb the banking here at Daytona, 31 degrees. It's still Whitehead falling back down the pole car. Bill Hales has now come back to P1. The pole machine looking in the home stretch to try to win it all here in Daytona. It is now Hales, Whitehead, Mezzaquilla, along with Moss Jr. playing possum, your top five. Whitehead with a big burst on Hales' back door as they climb into turn 2.
Where did that 17 of Bullock go? He was up there with Mezza, and now he's fallen back to the back of that front pack.
Yeah, something definitely amiss on Bullock's car. One time he was up there at the top, and now he has fell behind the back of actually even Buddy Saley in the 21 machine. Meanwhile, they come storming out of turn 4 to the tribal. It is closing in.
Mezza getting a little squirrely coming off of 4.
26 laps to go. Climbing the banking into the corner into 1 and 2. It is still going to be Bill Hales out in front. Down to the final 75 laps in, 25 to go. Ready to settle it out here in stage 3 for the NASRA. Millie's Restaurant and Catering Next Gen Cup Series. Remember, next week we're at Auto Club Speedway. Then it's on to Vegas. Then it's on to Phoenix. All of those races, every event that mimics the NASCAR Cup Series schedule is where we will be on Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time for NASRA and the 360 Racing Network. To the line, 3 quarters down, 25 to go here at Daytona. I just think, Adam Flieger, it is not time to make a run or pull out a line just yet.
Not quite yet. As you see, at 3, looks like he's going to try to push that 53 as far as he can. Not a whole lot of room between them, and 17, Brandon Bullock looks like he has lost the draft to that front pack. Not sure exactly what happened there with the 17, and he has fallen back so far. It was the front pack was of 7 cars, now down to 6 cars.
Working off turn 4, coming to the line. There is John Michael Bryant's car. On the inside, here comes Nicholas Maynard. His car was strong earlier. Brandon Bullock, I'm understanding he might have a problem. In the 17, he is on pit road. Bullock is in. I don't think he can go the distance. And could this be a question for other cars too?
That's definitely the question with that short pit. Remember in stage, it was coming to the end of stage 2, we had quite a few drivers short pit and come in like at lap 39 or 40. Is that fuel strategy going to pay off?
Got to remember also, we're down to 23 to go when they come to the line. Lap 77 on the board. Also, remember, if a caution comes out at the end of this race, there will be 2 attempts at overtime. You might have the fuel to go the regular distance. Do you have the fuel capacity to go into 2 attempts at a green-white checker overtime if necessary? That might be something that you might be contemplating also, because I got a feeling, Adam Flieger, it's a storm is brewing. It's not a matter of if, it's when, which we come into the end of this race with 20 remaining.
Oh, most definitely. There's always a storm brewing, especially once we get under that 10 laps to go. As we seen today earlier, as you were mentioning the actual Daytona 500, the winner of that was unable to do burnouts because he barely made it to the line.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, bottom line, what happened was they took the white flag. There was the accident that happened. They called for caution. At time of caution, same as what happened in the Xfinity Series event. Time of caution, they go frame by frame to pinpoint who was leading at the time of the trigger of the yellow of video evidence. Well, for our series, obviously, what we can do is do our best to mimic it. If there is a yellow flag thrown after they take the white flag, the field is frozen at time of caution. And basically, whatever it is on the scoring, showing when the lights are called, same way, just virtually. It will determine the finish of the race. Now, unless it's deemed that the caution is out of harm's way, they race back to the flag. Then you race back to the checkered flag. If they get a caution before the end of taking the white flag of the 2 overtime attempts, then we'll go back. We'll re-rack and restack and do it again. If it happens a second time, then as we said, the race is over.
Is the fuel strategy going to be similar to that of the Daytona 500A, where the driver
more cars pulling in?
Have enough.
There's more cars pulling in. John Michael Bryant has pulled in the number 4 onto the pit lane. Here comes everybody coming in. I didn't think they could make it. Boy, oh boy, I had a feeling here. I didn't think they could make it. Remember what I told you? 20 laps to go. Almost the entire leading pack comes to the line, and they are coming to the pits. You want to have a flawless pit stop, Adam Flieger, by the way.
Question is, how many tires do you take? Do you just take 2? Do you just take fuel? What? Question is, what strategy do you take?
Man, if it was me, it would be stop and go. Tires are not a big thing in iRacing for super speedway. Fuel, yes. I literally would. I'm wondering if they were tanks for running dry and they had to take on fuel.
That's what it looks like. Everybody come in for stop and goes, as they are now coming back off of pit road to get back up to that speed. One thing with them all pitting at the same time is they're all going to be in that draft.
That's right.
Nobody really lost the draft there.
Let's catch Bill Hells. There's the leader. Back straightaway, going to turn number 3. He's the new man out in front. But not for long. There goes Putney, Vermont's Dana Shepard in the 45-44 Chevrolet. He'll now go to the lead. But I'm thinking he's going to have to pit too.
I'm not sure when he last pitted, because remember, he had a couple problems earlier in the race.
Yeah, he's struggled. Here's your pit strategy. Oh boy, it's going to be close. So I'm looking at
Bill Hell's back up to the point.
Yeah, but I'm looking at pit strategy here. I'm looking at pit strategy here, and I don't, man, it's going to be close. Obviously Shepard has fell back to 3rd as he just got overtaken by the power of how fast Bill Hells and Kyle Fountain's cars are. Dana Shepard by himself. Now he's stuck in that line behind them in 4th or 3rd. Anthony Moss Jr. behind them.
Shepard definitely on the older side of the pit stops, as it looks like he pitted about the same time the leaders that everybody did, but has yet to pit in here.
Ready to settle it here in the ButtKicker 250 at Daytona. It's Bill Hells, the man out in front. He leads the way. Kyle Fountain right behind him in that number 2 spot. Dana Shepard losing ground. He's fall back to 3rd. 2 car links back is Moss Jr. and Whitehead. That's the way they stand the top 5 as they work their way back to the triangle. They climb the 31 degrees of banking again into turn number 1.
I honestly want to say those are 2 lap cars in that front pack, as the 45 is behind 2 cars. That's the 29 of Torrey Thompson, and I guess that's the 4 of John Bryant.
So Torrey Thompson is currently in 11th. He is on the lead lap, but the other car, John Michael Bryant, is a lap down. And now they're just updating time and scoring, and now he will be a lap down with Torrey Thompson. All the while, Bill Hells is the leader. 16 to go at Daytona. Lap 84. Mezza's car back out of the top 10. He's in 6th.
Looks like, though, that Dana Shepard definitely got a run there and is back at the bumper again of the front 2. And we're looking back through, there is Lucas Whitehead. He is currently the 5th position So he will be rounding out your top 5 currently.
Stage 2 winner. Stage 2 winner, Lucas Whitehead. By the way, Kyle Fountain, Stage 1 winner, back up to second. As there you see now, those cars working through the tri-oval, coming out of turn number 4 to the line. 15 laps to go. Lap 85 on the board. And Shepard has ran down the top 2 cars of Hales and Fountain to put them back on the podium.
Question becomes, when do you try to make that move, or you stay single file yet?
The gap.
Start planning.
The gap for the top 3, Adam Flieger, is almost 9 seconds. Let's show them there as Hales, Fountain, Shepard are right there in the top 3. 9.5 seconds back. We now showed you Anthony Moss Jr. on our broadcast screen, who is way, way, way back there, away from the top 3.
He's about, how?
He's right there.
Yeah, he's 9 seconds back.
Yep, there's the interval. The only positive note is he has a lap down car of Nicholas Maynard in the Menards 02 on his back door to help him somehow rush with speed up the racetrack. There is Whitehead, 25 seconds back to the leader, to the top 5. They're praying for a caution. You know they are, Adam. Don't know if they're going to get it, but
I don't know if they are either.
They want one to at least try to make a fight for these top 3 cars that are in the lead.
And unfortunately for Whitehead, them 3 cars that were coming up on him go around his outside. Will he be able to hook up and pull the draft along with them?
Bill Hales, the leader. Kyle Fountain in second. Anthony Moss Jr. third. As we just saw Dana Shepard fall back. He pitted, I believe. He's now 22 seconds back to those cars.
And he's back quickly. If he's still on pit road, he'll be even farther back now.
Losing ground. Shepard now 30 seconds back on the interval of the leader, maybe more. Bill Hales is the man out in front. There's Shepard back on track. I think he went for stop and go as far as splash and go. All the while. That is, well, there's 4th and 5th. There's, or excuse me.
That's Anthony Moss.
Yeah, my apologies. 3rd. That's 3rd in the lap car. That's Moss and Maynard. We got cars all over the track. Here is also now Ty Quillia, Brandon Bullock, Raul Meza, Lucas Whitehead. This is from positions 4 through 7 on track right now. Well, I'll tell you what, Adam, they scatter these cars all over the racetrack, no doubt about that, and we're coming up on 10 to go with Bill Hales the leader.
Dana Shepard is back on pit road again.
Wonder if Shepard got a penalty. He might have got busted for a penalty, not only for coming down to the pit lane, but maybe a penalty for pitting. Hales is the man leading to the back stretch into the 3rd turn. Fountain is right there behind him. They were in positions 1 and 2. Hales the pole car. Fountain stage 1 winner. Stage 2 went to Lucas Whitehead. He is all the way back in 7 cars on the lead lap. 10 to go at Daytona.
Anthony Moss is still with that lap car, correct? As we are getting down to 10 laps to go across the stripe this time. As there you see there's the distance. That was Maynard there with.
That's the 2 of Anthony Moss Jr. There's your 3rd place car right there on the racetracks, 12 seconds back. He's got the lap car of Nicholas Maynard behind him, the Menard 02, who was the first car a lap down, the only car a lap down. If a caution was to come out, he would get the free pass to go back on the lead lap. 9 to go. Single digits as they climb the bank in at Daytona. There's the battle of first and second, possibly for the win to open up the season of Hales and Fountain off too.
Question, with them being 1-2 like that and nobody behind them, where do you make your move and try to hold on to that lead?
Man, I don't want to say anything to bring back nostalgia, but I feel like if it turns out the way that it is between these two drivers, we could set ourselves up for a virtual rendition of the 1979 Daytona 500. If you remember, the top two cars were all in their own world several seconds ahead over the third, fourth, fifth place cars. And just like that, coming to the white flag on the final lap, the leaders wreck each other. Kel Yarborough, Donnie Allison, if you don't know the story of NASCAR's 75 years of the Diamond Anniversary. And they wrecked each other going right about now into that third turn. And in doing so, Richard Petty scored the 7th win of his 7 Daytona 500 victories by being in third place, hanging back, and watching those two cars wreck each other. Could we see virtual history repeat itself? We are right now watching Hales and Fountain pull away from everybody as they come to the line. 7 laps to go at Daytona, Adam Flieger.
And with that story you just told, if I'm not sure if I read it right or not, but was that NASCAR's first televised race?
It was the first ever live flag-to-flag broadcast. If you want to talk about the first ever historical race on television, it was actually in 1975 when NASCAR actually aired a race live from Greenville Pickens Speedway on ABC Wide World of Sports. However, there was a lot of delays into the coverage. But the first ever live flag-to-flag event, 1979 on CBS. You're exactly right, from start to finish.
Okay, and the other thing I thought I also heard was that the camera crew was not focused on Petty winning the race. They were more focused on turns 3 and 4.
There was a incident where Petty's car had another car that looked very identical to his, and they were about to show the wrong car being the leader. And if it wouldn't have been for the voice and the accuracy of one of the greats that I've had the privilege to call races with in my career, and the man that is just the dean of motorsports, in my opinion, Ken Squire.
Hey, there you go. That's what you're talking about.
Here you go, 6 to go. There was a bump and run. Hales and Fountain get into one another. They save it. We stay green. But as I said, if it wasn't for Ken Squire telling the camera crews where the car was, where Petty was as he was coming off of turn 2 to the back straightaway, there would have been a big muff mistake on national television, and luckily that didn't happen. Meanwhile, your interval is still 13 seconds from Fountain to Hales. Kyle Fountain is now the leader, getting around Bill Hales with the bump and run. Maybe a little earlier said than done, as we now watch more cars battling for third spot.
This is evidently not over yet.
No, it's not done. And now Fountain is the leader. Hales running him down at the line. 4 laps to go here at Daytona. Just 10 miles remaining in the ButtKicker 250.
I want to guess Hales probably didn't like that bump and run too much, and he probably wouldn't try the same maneuver here.
I don't know if it... I'll just say this. If Fountain was trying to eliminate Hales, I think you just ticked him off. That's all I'm going to tell you. I hate to see what the outcome will be if he can get to his back door. To the back straightaway, they go to 3.
Here he comes. Right there to him.
You know, it's so surprising to me also, Adam, that these drivers look at them going at it here. Look at this. Boy, oh boy. Hales is just, he could have went to the outside. He could have cleared him for the lead. he didn't go for it, but either he's trying to go for the kill shot or he is setting himself up for those final laps to finally make that slingshot. We mentioned this, Adam. They're by themselves. They don't have a pack of cars with them. This is the lone wolf. Live alone, die alone. And whenever you jump out of line, you got to hope your car has the power to be able to clear the machine that you're about to pass. 3 to go.
Most definitely, as neither one of these cars have a teammate with them, as we said. Trying to get the first win of the season, or first points win of the season, I should say.
Coming down to the line, lap number 98 will be scored. 2 to go here at Daytona.
53 of Bill Hills trying to get back up there to that bumper of the 59. There you see the gap back to Anthony Moss, and then from Anthony Moss clear back to 4th position. There's 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th still battling it out.
Yeah, they're about 20 seconds back. Moss is 12 seconds back with the lap car of the machine of Maynard with him, but there's the battle for the lead. Working the back straightaway. Under 5 miles remaining here in the ButtKicker 250. We go to California next week at Auto Club. We settle it here now as they work off the banking out of turn number 4, roaring down to the tri-oval, coming to the stripe, white flag of the air. One more lap to go here at Daytona. This is it. Hales, I believe, might have been playing possum. He is now going to try to make his move on Fountain. He goes up high. He is way, way, way out of the groove as they work into turn 2.
I think he might just have given up there. I'm not exactly sure, though, as we work down the backstretch. Will he be able to suck back up there to the back bumper?
He does it. He reels him. He comes to the left rear. They're there. They're making a battle side by side. They climb into turn number 3. Hales on the outside. Fountain on the bottom. Door to door. Door to door to turn 4. Working off the final turn. Coming to the line. They make contact. They make contact. Here comes now Fountain. He turns Hales as they cross the line. Bill Hales will win at Daytona. Kyle Fountain will wreck. Hales will wreck. Moss Jr. will finish 3rd. And Bill Hales is going to win the opening race of the ButtKicker 250 for the Nasra Millie's Cup Series at Daytona. Wow.
I'm quite certain Hales is going to have some words for Fountain after that race.
You had to think the storm was brewing there, obviously. The first shot given with under 10 laps to go. Okay, I'll let you have that one. Now we'll reset. Coming off of that last turn, let's go to a replay, if we can, Cody, down to the truck, and show you one more time the last lap coming to the white flag. All bets are off between Bill Hales and Kyle Fountain. I cannot believe that Kyle Fountain...
I think there might be a rivalry brewing between Hales. Then you see the 59 bumps him, and then comes back up the track again.
This is to the left rear. 59 Fountain getting into Bill Hales. Here's my take of 2 things. Either that was his nice way of saying, okay, you beat me, but here's another little shot to say, you know, congrats. Or, because here's the deal. Let's just be honest. He hooked the left rear. He didn't hook the right rear. If he would have hooked the right rear, it would have sent him head on into the wall. He hooked the left rear while he had already got to, 25 yards to the start-finish line. The race was already probably going to be called with him spinning across the racetrack. I don't want to say that that was intentional, but I do want to say that was I'll get you next time. Because right there, the race is over. Here's the finish line. He even gave him a T-bone push to the line.
The thing that comes to my head, though, is what happened, about 4 laps prior to that, when the 59 gave the 53 a shot, spinning them down the track. Remember, he did get the 53 loose earlier. So it's hard to say how the 53 Bill Hales is going to take that coming across the line.
Well, here is your results of the round 1 points events for the Millie's Nazra Restaurant and Catering Next Gen Cup Series, and what a race it was. Bill Hales is your winner. Kyle Fountain will finish second. Anthony Moss Jr. will finish third. Raul Meza fourth. Brandon Bullock, your top five. Ty Quillia, Lucas Whitehead, and Nicholas Maynard. First couple of cars a lap down, but it's said and done there for the rest of the rundown, Adam.
Alrighty. I'm sorry, I lost track where you left off. You leave off with 10th?
I left off with 8th.
Oh, 8th? Okay. 9th is going to be finishing John Michael Bryant. 10th goes to Dana Shepard. That'll be rounding out your top 10. 11th goes to Tori Thompson. 12th, Buddy Saley. 13th goes to Doc Caldwell. And Eric Thornton will finish out the field in 14th with the cars that started the race. Kyle Hess, our race controller, and of course, Cody Knott, our producer, bringing you all the live action shots.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to step away. When we come back, we're going to try to grab some of these post-race interviews. If not, we'll wrap it up from Daytona and get you set for Auto Club Speedway next Sunday night. The Nazra Millie's Next Gen Cup Series presented by Millie's Restaurant and Catering. Millie's in Daytona and Millie's North. Find all the details on social media. And the ButtKicker 250. Boy, oh boy, what a wild one when it's said and done. Bill Hales wins here in the virtual half Great American Race. Welcome back to coverage of the Nazra Millie's Restaurant and Catering Next Gen Cup Series on the 360 Racing Network. Well, we go to Auto Club next Sunday night. This race did not disappoint. The battle, the finish. You saw the replay between Bill Hales and Kyle Fountain. And when it's all said and done, 0.06 seconds at the line between Hales and Fountain getting into one another. I got to ask you, Kyle, you'll settle for second. I'll ask a question. Adam will ask a question. Was that last little shot to get into Hales? Was that just a, hey, man, congratulations, I'll get you next time? Or were you really trying to make a move to get around him there coming off that final turn of the travel?
No, so he had me beat. It was just more of a, yeah, you got me kind of deal.
I called it.
Little theatrics to end the race.
Little theatrics to end the race, Adam Flieger. I called it. But again, it was very, very exciting to watch.
Most definitely exciting. Your car definitely looks strong out there, Kyle. Sorry, can't fully think of a question at the moment here, Wes.
I kept trying to set the stage, Fountain and Hales, between you and Kel Yarborough, Donnie Allison of the 79 500. Did you feel like there was a chance of seeing something like that to happen between you guys? And did you even realize that you had that big of a lead amongst one another?
No, not really. I know we went in the pits. There was 5 or 6 of us that went in the pits at the same time, and then I just watched the replay. Some of them had some issues getting in their pit stalls, and I just took enough fuel to make it. I literally ran out on the last lap, coming around after the race was over. And then I was noticing on my track map that we were pulling away from everybody, and I was trying to ease up a little bit to save gas, and that's when he got into me a little bit and turned me. I didn't think I checked up that much, but he turned me a little bit. So luckily I was able to save it. And then those last 3 laps, I was trying to figure out what would be the best spot to back up. So I backed up a little bit and threw it in the 4th and got a run and got to his outside and side drafted a little bit. And then he side drafted me back coming through 3 and 4. So I had to side draft him one more time to make sure I could get up to the wall. And I got up to the wall, and then I kind of knew I had it by then. But yeah, it was a great race. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that move where you climbed the bank and up in turn number 1 and 2, did you feel like that was probably the best place to get the air to try to close in on his car down the back stretch? That's why you ran him down so fast?
Yeah, I backed up actually a little bit when we were coming to the line. And then when we went into 1, I started going up and got up high on through 1 and 2, then came down, and then I got a draft off them. As soon as I got a good run on them, you have that bubble when you get up to their ass. So you got to get up, excuse my language, you got to get up, you got to get over a little bit. And I wanted just to make sure I moved over to the right just in time so I wouldn't get to the bubble, and I did. Luckily, once I got to his side, I could side draft him and slow him down a little bit, so it worked out.
Well, if anybody got offensive by the word ass, we apologize for the language there. But anyhow, Bill Hales picking up the win. Kyle Fountain, I'll throw you in here one more time. This is kind of an abnormal way that we've doing the post-race interviews. Never really done it this way, but it's kind of like a casual conversation. When you saw him climb the banking in turn number 1, obviously backing off of the front straightaway, did you realize that is exactly what he was trying to do to kind of to get that final shot to come after you for the win?
Yeah, so I saw him backing up multiple times trying to test out the waters, and I was kind of, all right, let's try to time this up without putting him in the wall, and just didn't time up that way. So figured whoever was going to side draft the best was going to get it at the end.
Definitely was an exciting finish to watch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Kyle, we'll let you thank your sponsors. Bill, we'll let you thank your sponsors as well. Congratulations, and it's on to California next week. Kyle Fountain, you got to
there we go.
Buddy. Sponsors, no.
Thank that Kyle Fountain Enterprise, self-sponsored. Thank my team and everybody that put this together. Brady, Cody, all y'all, Kyle that ran it, and you all as well for the broadcast. I appreciate it.
All right, man. That's second place winner, Bill Hales. You're going to thank your sponsors, buddy. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, but well, my sponsor lives with me, my wife, so she owns a photography business. Melanie has photography, and we own a little construction company, M&H Construction, which is on the quarter panels. And want to thank Millie's Restaurant for sponsoring the league, and you guys. Your streams are awesome, and everything Brady's doing to get this up off the ground. I look forward to it. I'm glad that I won the inaugural race, so that's awesome. Had a good time tonight.
Yeah, fun time when it's all said and done. The inaugural points winner for the NASRA Millie's Next Gen Cup Series, again, is the driver of Bill Hales. Wild finish here at the Virtual World Center of Racing. Next week, it's on to Auto Club Speedway in virtual Fontana, California. from 2.5 miles to 2 miles. Adam Flieger, enjoyed working with you. Kind of a different scenario because normally you're up in the production side of things and I'm in the broadcast booth. But when it's all said and done, you finish. We saw a wild race when it was said and done when it
We
finished up
did, and
tonight.
it
And what a job by Adam
escalated
Flieger
as the night
working with
went
you.
on. It most certainly did. It escalated as the night went on, almost. Kind of stage one, we saw drivers kind of just feeling it out. Stage two, there's a little bit more calamity and racing to that stage win. And stage three didn't disappoint at all with the great finish between our podium finishers here. And like you said, it was a blast for me to be in the booth since normally I am behind the camera and I'm
Yes.
dipping my toes into the Xfinity series here on Thursday nights just here and there. I'll be there again in the car again this Thursday night.
Yeah, I want to say thanks again. Phenomenal job, Adam Flieger. Enjoyed working with you and, of course, on the production side of things as well when it's all said and done. One more time, follow Nazra at Nazra-Racing on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram on social media. Also, Millie's Restaurant and Catering at Daytona Beach, Florida, as well as up in Millie's North. Follow their social media for more information. Proud sponsor of the Millie's Nazra Next Gen Cup Series. In addition to that, thanks also to the ButtKicker for doing this event as the title sponsor for the lid lifter of points races for the NASCAR Next Gen Cup Series. From Daytona, it's on to Auto Club in Fontana next week. Thanks to producer Cody Knott, the president and the man behind the North American Sim Racing Association is Brady LaBeouf. For Adam Flieger, I'm Wesley Outland. Good night from Daytona, where Bill Hales wins the first ever points race for the NASCAR Millie's Next Gen Cup Series. It is on to Auto Club next Sunday evening.